The first mean for getting your interest registered in gaining forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is called Tawbah. Tawbah. What does Tawbah mean? Tawbah means that we make a firm intention of not doing what we have done before. Tawbah is an intention of not doing the wrong that we have been doing. Tawbah is an intention of putting an end to what we have been doing. Now, what does that mean? And this is worth understanding, because if you don't understand this, you will not register your interest fully. You would have not read the terms and conditions of registering that interest, right? When you sell a product, there are terms and conditions, right? So if the terms and conditions are not met, the sales, you don't get to benefit from them. So what are the terms and conditions? I said, what is Tawbah? Tawbah is that you make an intention not to do what you're doing wrong. What will that mean? That would mean that first you acknowledge the wrong that you are doing is wrong. First thing is to acknowledge. If you do not think that something is wrong, how would you make an intention of not doing it, right? That you make an acknowledgement that this action that I was doing is a wrong action. It is wrong, it is wrong, it is wrong, it is wrong, and now that I know that it is wrong, I will not do it again, right? You were in a habit of listening to music, and now you say, okay, from now on, I'll not listen to music, but you know what? That's the coolest thing to do in life, right? That's not Tawbah. Because if you do not think that thing that you were doing was wrong, you are 110% likely to slip back to it, because you've temporarily stopped. You have put a hold to it for whatever reason. Maybe you're under some pressure, but you're internally not convinced that that thing should not be done. First thing is to acknowledge wrong as wrong. That is what entails that now I will not do it again, because I know it is wrong. I believe it is wrong. I'm convinced it is wrong. And I will convince others that it is wrong. Conviction has few parts as well. One is that somebody tells you it's wrong and you believe it. One is that you do your research and you say that now I know that it is wrong. And third is that you become so convinced that now you are convincing others that it is wrong. Right? So it's that level of conviction that yes, it was wrong. And the third and the second part of it is to, when you know that that was wrong that you were doing and that you will not do it again, was also to have some remorse in your heart for the wrong that you have done. And I shouldn't have done it. I wish I had known before. I wish I had stopped. It was wrong. I don't know why I ended up doing it. You have to have that remorse in your heart for doing that. You need to acknowledge it was wrong, and you need to have remorse for doing it. Many people I know who were smokers, who quit smoking, but you often hear from them is that, that few puffs after the dinner, nothing like it. Right? I know it was wrong, it was very bad for my health, I'm not going to do it again. But so they know it's wrong, and they know that they don't have to do it again, but they don't have regret for doing it. What ends up happening? Few circumstances change, a company changes, old friends get together, mahal bana, cigarettes come out, and that because there's this longing for that feeling, that enjoyment that they had, which they acknowledge was wrong, which they have made a firm plan not to do again, but because there was a liking for that wrong thing, there was still that longing for that wrong thing, they end up doing it. So a tawbah is three things. In essence, it is a firm plan, a firm determination not to do wrong, the wrong that you have been doing. But that means that you first acknowledge what you were doing was wrong, you first accept that it was wrong, and that you also have regret for that wrong. Otherwise, your tawbah is not a firm tawbah. Otherwise, it is not what is called tawbatun nasuh. You will slip. You are most likely to go back to it. Somebody asked Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu that what exactly is tawbatun nasuh? Sayyidina Umar said, it is like once the milk has come out from the cow, it cannot go back in it. Just like a moment has come out of a sin, it cannot go back to that sin. That's tawbatun nasuh. When can that happen? When you if you fall into a pit and you know in that pit are snakes and you know in that pit are thorns, and if by mistake you fall into it once and you have been bitten and you have been scratched, you the next time you will do 110 things not to, for those circumstances to happen again, for you to fall into that pit, right? Common human experience, because you have acknowledged that in there is something which is harmful, in there the pain that I have received after that was too much, I'll never ever let myself be in that position where I can fall into that pit again. Same way, if we understand that this is wrong and we have regret for that wrong, then we make an intention that we will not do it. That's Tawbah.